DJ Kentaro's winning World Final DMC set at the 2002 World Final is, in my opinion, one of the very, very best DMC routines of all time. Next week, I'm flying out to Tokyo for the 40th DMC World Final, where I will be on the judging panel. My name is Blakey and I'm a former DMC champion, and I have always loved Kentaro's winning set from 2002. So, in this video, I'm going to rewatch it and I'm going to break down exactly what he's doing to help you understand the art form of turntablism better. In my opinion, this is one of the last truly great DMC World Final winning sets. Now, before we get started, I would like to point out that I was actually on the stage that night, and I can tell you that the reaction on stage amongst all of the DJs at the event was pretty extraordinary. We could not believe what we were seeing when Kentaro started performing his set, and it was on a completely different level to every other competitor that was on stage that night. We were all transfixed and we knew that we were seeing something incredibly special. Now, this routine actually starts off with quite a long beat juggle, but it includes so many different unique techniques that it keeps your attention for the whole time.
The subject that we're going to be talking about today is... Oh, yeah! We're going to be talking about today is... We're going to be talking about today is... We're going to be talking about today is... Talking about today, it is style. Ah, yeah.
Now, this beat that he's using for the beat juggle here is actually a really sparse scratch instrumental that really doesn't have a lot going on. And I think that's one of the main reasons that this beat juggle routine here is so impressive. The amount of different beat juggle patterns and techniques and rhythms that he manages to get out of a really simple instrumental is quite incredible. So he's already making it double time. So he's actually started off super technical straight out of the gate. Quite often, beat juggle routines start off with some very simple patterns before going into more complex ones. But right here, we're about 40 to 50 seconds into this routine, and I can honestly say that he's probably already done the best beat juggles of the night. Let's continue. So what you'll notice there as well is quite often throughout this routine, he creates a build-up that then leads into a kind of drop section. He continues this theme throughout the routine, but just take notice of how many parts of this set are building up tension and then releasing it. Back to halftime. Unbelievable. Now, the beat juggle section is not quite finished, but something else that's super impressive is each section of the beat juggle that lasts for about 4 bars. None of it repeats itself. Every 4 bars, there's a completely different beat juggle technique. I would even go as far as to say that Kentaro won the entire event in the first 90 seconds of his routine, and it just gets better from there. Crazy. Now take a listen to this. He's about to now play the instrumental that he just used for the beat juggle, and take a note of how sparse and simple it sounds. And that will give you an idea of how insane it is that he managed to make all of those different beat juggle patterns from this really simple instrumental. There's just nothing going on with that instrumental, and he managed to flip it like that. So that right there was another example of how he builds tension throughout this set and then releases it. And by the way, if watching this video is inspiring you to get into scratching, then I've put together some free in-depth lessons that you can grab right now. And they even come with a free scratch tool so that you can start practicing immediately. If you're interested, click the link in the description. They're completely free. What he's about to do right now is do a beat juggle with a dance music track, a house track, and he uses his beat juggle techniques to create a build up followed by a drop. It's not just beat juggle routine, scratch routine, beat juggle routine. This entire 6 minutes tells a story. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and then there's a crazy ending as well. So check out the building of tension and the release. Using the EQs. So did you notice there the build up and then the drop? And he manages to perform it so cleanly that the crowd can react as if it was a track that was building up and then dropping. It's just perfectly executed. Love those stabs right there. Now what he's about to do here is called an open fader beat juggle, and I'd be lying if I said that I didn't take some inspiration from this part of his routine in my winning set 2 years later. Now with an open fader beat juggle, you actually use the backward motion of the record as part of the juggle. So therefore you have to be insanely accurate when you pull the record back because the crossfader is open. Every time you pull the record back, that is coming through, so it has to be perfectly on beat. And this takes the difficulty to a whole new level. But just watch how Kentaro masterfully uses this to create a build up and then a drop of the house track. You can hear the crowd reaction there as well. I think they appreciate, number one, the build up of the tension and then the release, but also how perfectly executed this is. Because nothing is going to break the illusion of the build up of tension and then the release more than going off beat. But Kentaro performs this routine perfectly. So now Kentaro goes into a skipless record part of his routine. For those who aren't aware, a skipless scratch record is a record that contains chunks of loops throughout the record. So no matter which groove you put the needle on, it will play the same sound or the same piece of music. This is great for two things. Number one, when you're practicing scratching, you don't want to have to constantly pull the record back to catch the sound after the needle skips, because this is going to take you out of your flow. But also, and this is what Kentaro uses in this set, you can pick up the needle and move it to a different part of the record and it will stay perfectly on beat. And you're about to hear Kentaro use that technique perfectly.
Hey yo! Yeah! Hey yo! Yeah!
So can you hear how that part of the record is looping over and over? That's a skipless record.
Hey yo! Yeah! Hey yo! Yeah! Hey yo! Hey yo! Hey yo!
So perfectly executed.
Yeah! Hey yo!
Body tricks here. Perfect. Half time.
Hey yo!
slow it down.
Hey yo! Hey yo!
I have to just say at this point, the way that Kentaro goes between different tempos in that beat juggle is flawless. Quite often when a turntablist is performing a beat juggle and then they want to move into a different tempo, they'll usually stop and then go into that new tempo. But in this routine, Kentaro goes through and you don't even notice that he's gone from one tempo to the other. It is absolutely masterful. Okay, now we're coming to the very end of the routine. There's 1 minute left, and this is a part of the routine that I actually just want to let play. I don't want to talk over this at all, and I don't want to pause it, because from this moment in the set, it builds up the tension towards a drop at the end, which is one of the greatest moments in the history of the DMC Championships. It's truly exceptional. So I'm going to let it play, and I'll talk about it at the end of the set.
Bumbleclad!
Oh yeah! The original bad boy!
That is one of the greatest endings to any DMC set I've ever seen in my life. And you'll notice as well how I mentioned before about the skipless records. Throughout the ending of that part of the routine, Kentaro is picking up the needle live and placing it into a different groove that is either on the right deck a different drum beat, but on the left deck he's picking up the needle and he's moving it to a different synth note. So he's changing the beat underneath by moving the needle on the other deck, and on the left deck he's picking up the needle and he's creating a completely new melody. On top of that, he uses the EQs so that when it drops, it sounds full on and super high energy. That set right there is truly one of the best ever, and it's one of my favorite memories in the whole of my DJ career. Being on stage, surrounded by all the competitors from the event that night, all of us watching Kentaro, and then kind of looking at each other as if to say, what are we witnessing? This is unbelievable. And in my opinion, that is one of the truly great moments in the history of the DMCs. Now, if you want to see me reacting to even more DMC moments from across the years, then you should check out this playlist right here, which is full of some of my favorite moments from the DMCs of all time.